brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Well, CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Olivier Vernon in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Throwing, Prescott. And that's Elliott, complete. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
The Browns drive about to get started. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can drive as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They've been pretty solid against the pass, toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Jackson now. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. They give the Chubb out of the gun. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives you
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt.
That's the end of the first quarter with no score.
We're scoreless after 1. The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. Jamie Gillen now on to punt. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Prescott from the gun. That one complete to Elliott. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run with Elliott. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And the Cowboys defense, they march back out onto the field. And as we're going to see right here, they have been laying some pretty electrifying hits in this one.
And these are for real. Okay, as you watch, think about putting yourself in that spot, about being the ball carrier or the receiver.
I don't want to.
And then taking that shot, it is something else. It's not like when we were watching that video clip where they showed you how they make sounds for movies. This is for real.
The Browns drive about to get started, and the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. On 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his man. That's Landry. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
Motion, motion, motion.
Now it's Jackson. Got a man, that's Rashard Higgins. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Watch the whip. Watch the shift. Watch the shift. Watch the shift. Watch the shift. Switch.
To throw is Jackson. To throw on 3rd down. This pass complete to Higgins. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Correa showing his strength and quickness there, a loss of 4.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. He's going to fire one deep left sideline, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And Dallas, they'll take over. Terrific. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Drops it underneath to Elliott. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Here we go. 51. Double dog. That's the way.
To throw again on 2nd down. Prescott, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down.
I got you.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. He finds Howard complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now Prescott. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25.
We got him.
Well, that was an interesting little chess match there because the offense went empty set. No running backs in the backfield, so they're trying to get people out into a route pretty quickly. But guess what? The defense sees that. They go ahead and move themselves into a blitzing situation and come right after the quarterback. They had more guys there than they could block.
The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Field goal forthcoming for Stephen Hauschka. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. Now, the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
The Browns drive about to get started. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
So we've hit halftime on Turkey Day here in Dallas. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Happy Thanksgiving again to everybody at home as we take a look ahead to what's coming up both later today and this weekend. One of the best of the early games, we'll highlight it there. The Giants in for a stern test at home at MetLife Stadium as they'll square off against the Cincinnati Bengals. Out on the West Coast, more good stuff in the late afternoon as we'll be watching the one down in Carson, where it'll be the Chargers taking on the New England Patriots. And lastly, Monday Night Football has a good one lined up between the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, in our game, not much happening on the scoreboard, just a lone field goal in that first half. For the call of the second half, maybe we can get a touchdown, fellas. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Cowboys to take over. They've got the lead right now in this ball game, and they got the victory last week against the Rams, so some good momentum as they come up 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Prescott now. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Let's go.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? Shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video in those fours. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Xavier Woods with a pick, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game, and so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. Give him 19 there as the drive marches forward. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Check. Here we go.
On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott looking for Cooper. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's go.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And he knew he was going to take a shot in the pocket. He did, but he also found a way to get it into the end zone.
And that has to ease the pain a little bit of the shot he took, didn't it? Being able to throw it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Hauschka with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. Flush to his right. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Second and 10. Here's Jackson again. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
He gets his first catch there, but all in all, when you're talking about the #1 receiver in the NFL coming into this game, and we're just talking about the first catch there, I think they're doing a nice job of bottling him up.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. Running the jet sweep, Landry. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Eluding the pressure right. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Antonio Callaway, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Throws right side. And he's got it. So they went ahead and went for 2 to tie the game, and it works out. We're on to the 4th here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Seibert now to kick this thing away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. On the counter, Elliott. Finding room at the 30. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10. Play action now, Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. There was and he's taken down. This will be a Browns sack.
You see me? You see me?
Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Browns drive about to get started. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. They want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And that is incomplete. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And how about this for a setup? The ball will go over on downs at the 1-yard line. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that?
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right, but he knew he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I'll guarantee he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm going to go for it here. If we don't get it, just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail us out.
2nd and goal. Prescott, and he's got it. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. 2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the 4th quarter. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 3rd and goal now as they look for that final touchdown to salt this one away. And Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Well, if this defense can hold them to a field goal here, what a win that would be.
Not just a win on the possession, but psychologically take over the ball game. This started with 1st and goal, so they were in 4-down territory right from the beginning. I say you finish it off and go for the touchdown.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So now the Browns down on the scoreboard. 70 seconds remaining. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
This is the tight end, Njoku. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. This quarterback now 9 of 17 through the air. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
They'll give it to Chubb. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the fourth.
Wow. How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a one-point game. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Here's Prescott. And he finds his target. It's Schultz. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Prescott now from the 50. Johnson's got it complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Cowboys signal for their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. Well, that would have been something if he could have saved him from that long distance there in the closing seconds, but it was just not meant to be.
They needed a little more time and a little more yardage to give him a realistic shot. And that kick's a good metaphor for this game, isn't it? They're going to wind up a little short in the end.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for Cleveland, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Dallas, they suffer their 4th loss so far. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what?